Hi everyone, Rukshan here, and thanks for watching this video. I have a question I want to put to everyone that's watching from all around Australia, and that is, who the hell do these governments think they are? Now, whether that's a federal government, your state government, even your local government councils, like who the hell do these people think they are? Labour, Liberal, Greens, it doesn't matter. These people, these governments have failed so dramatically over the last 18 months that it's hard to put into words just how bad this failure is. Even though I'm going to attempt to do it, it's just really hard to do. Now, I'm not talking about the virus, the global pandemic, because leaders and governments all around the world have been dealing with this issue. So I get it, and I think a lot of us in the population understand that it might not be easy to be in a position of leadership right now. Fair enough. But once you've put your hand up to take on that leadership role, there's certain obligations, there's certain duties, there's certain expectations that the community has. And I can't think of... Actually, let me reverse that. I can only think of a handful of independents and leaders within our government, whether it's state or federal, who have risen to this challenge, who have been able to carry out their duty to the people and also deal with this crisis. Almost 99%, the rest of them, the rest of the government, has used this pandemic, this global pandemic, and health advice as a shield for their incompetence and their inability to make decisions that benefit the people. Now think about it. 99% of our leaders in this country have failed in their basic function of governance. See, government is not just about pandemics. There's so much more to it than that. It's not just about economics. It's not just about, the daily things that drive the engine of a nation. Sure, those are very important things that governments must deal with. But a lot of that has been paused for the pandemic. But more important than any of those things, one of the core functions of governments is to uphold our rights, our freedoms, okay? To uphold the oaths that they've taken, the allegiances that they've sworn to this people in this country, to our constitution. See, there's certain things that are fundamental to the way that our lives should be lived in this country. There's certain things that guarantee the way that we've lived our lives for a long time, and hopefully will continue to do in the future if we stand up now and defend those things. Because the people that are in power right now, they've just thrown all that into the bin. It's too hard. It's the too hard basket, right? It's too hard to give people their freedom of choice and deal with this pandemic. No, the only way we can deal with it is to strip people of their rights. Oh, it's too hard to find the balance. We should just lock everyone up, right? This is the function of government. As hard as it is, whether it's during a time of crisis, a war, the actual foundational things that make this country what it is, they must ensure that those things remain the same, are protected or enhanced. To say that we made it out of this pandemic, and the only way that we made it out of this pandemic is by destroying fundamental rights and freedoms we have in this country, is embarrassing. It's an embarrassment. We should not be going backwards to ensure our freedom in the future. We already have the instruments and the tools. Those things need to be enhanced and made better, not made worse. We don't need medical segregation in this country. We don't need vaccine passports and all these crazy ideas that these bureaucrats have come up with, because it makes their lives easier. It makes their jobs easier, right? We don't need these things in this country, But they will do it. They will push those things onto the people because it makes their job, it makes their lives easier. It helps them maybe sleep at night to think that they've done their job. Sure, they've done their job to protect their political careers. They've done their jobs to appear good on the media, and there'll be nice things written about them maybe by people that support them. But have they actually protected the fundamental things that we hold dear in this country? And I'm going to say today that these people have no interest whatsoever in any of these things. These things are no longer important to people in government today. The way that I talk about freedom, the way that you see other people talking about freedom, loving their country, patriotism, respecting the rights and choices of others, these people could not give a crap. They are on a one-track mind, which is what will be most politically advantageous to us, what can we push through very easily without disrupting our political wishes, without disrupting our political allegiances, with respecting the global agenda and all these things. It's not about the individual person for them. It's not about our individual freedoms in our communities, okay, in our homes, in our families. They don't care about these things. They have a one-track mind. And I'm sure many of you who are in lockdown tonight in Victoria, in Sydney and other parts of the country, you would be sitting there watching these guys and ladies coming on to do their press conferences, and they'll get up with a very straight face and tell you this is a snap 5-day lockdown, this is a circuit breaker lockdown, 3 days. But deep down, somewhere deep down inside, you know they're messing with you, right? You know they're lying to you. You know that it's going to be longer. You know. So think, why can't they just go up there and tell you the truth? Because the truth is too hard for them. I can't even put into words what they're doing, because it's manipulation. They already know the outcome of what's going to happen, but they're drip feeding the public because they think you're stupid. They think you just don't deserve to know. And worse, they know that whatever they do, you will just accept and carry on. But I have a feeling that things are changing in this country. I have a feeling that people in this country are fed up. They've had enough. They're sick of the double standards. How dare these people that don't follow the same rules that we follow, that don't make the same sacrifices, get up every single day and tell us how to live our lives. See, in one of our states, in Queensland, we have the Premier there, Anastasia Palaszczuk. She's jetting off to Tokyo on important government business to the Olympic Games. Japan is a country right now, according to what's being reported, in the midst of an increasing state of emergency, with thousands of cases and cases now in the Olympic Village. More infections than what's happening in this country daily. But yet, during this global pandemic, the very same woman who would deny people the right to see their dying family, right? Who would deny Australians the chance of coming back to this country to see their family and friends and live their lives in Australia again. This very same woman is jetting off to Tokyo for something that she could probably do on an online Zoom call. Now, some people might say, oh, well, the Olympics is such an important thing that they can't do it on an online Zoom call. Well, why not? It's a global pandemic. People have been asked to sacrifice so much. The IOC, the Olympic Committee, the people in Tokyo, it's all about money. It has nothing to do with the pandemic. So when you see these things, when you see the rest of the world just worrying about financial things, while you can't see your loved ones, while you can't go to a funeral, or celebrate the birth of a child, or a wedding, or whatever it is, you can't do these things. But they're doing all these other things. Scott Morrison's flying off to England and doing all these things in the UK, wherever he went. Sure, it's important government business, but we've been told it's a global pandemic, right? We've been told it's so important, so scary, it's so vital that we don't do these things. So if it's okay for the Prime Minister to go somewhere, do some important work, and come back and quarantine, Why isn't it available to every single Australian to do that? That should be the standard, right? But it's not the standard. The standard is that the elites, the political class, celebrities, people with money and power can do what they want. But you and I, the everyday Australian, the ordinary person, the people that make this country, that contribute our wealth to this nation, we can't make those types of choices. So while they're jetting in celebrities into Australia to be on film sets, to do all sorts of gallivanting around our country, we can't go interstate to see one of our loved ones. Why? Because we can't afford it. Because we're not in the same level as these people that have power and wealth. We're just the ordinary plebs of this country. And that's how they're treating us. So that's why we have Brett Sutton from Victoria going off to his gala dinner while our state's in a lockdown. That's how these things happen, and they have no shame doing these things because they think it's important. Their job is important. Their job is essential, right? These people have never experienced anything else besides their job being essential during this whole pandemic. This whole thing is just, they've always had their job. Damn, they've even got pay rises during this time. But us, you and I, everyday people, we've lost work, we've lost jobs, we've lost opportunities, right? It's not just about the monetary value of something. Once you lose an opportunity, that's it. So we've lost so much, yet these people have so much. We've lost so much, these people have so much. And we can see it. We're not stupid. We can feel it, right? You can hear it in their voices when they talk about things. The entitlement. They're essential. But we are all essential, right? For us, our families, our children, our work, our jobs, it's as important to us and living our lives as it is for the politicians that do their work. So the way that they treat us as menial, as insignificant, is just ridiculous and insulting because we are the ones that have elected them to represent our views. And the way that things are going, it's going to come to a point where we're going to have to stand up in even larger numbers to ensure that these rights that we have, these expectations that we have of our leaders, are understood by them. Because right now, it's not getting across to them. That's it. I think I've ranted on again. And I don't mean to rant on. But seeing what's happening and seeing all the emotion that I've seen from people who are very upset at what's going on, who are confused maybe, who are frightened, all of these feelings that people are feeling, it just makes me want to kind of come out here and say what I'm thinking as well. And hopefully maybe it might help people engage with their mind a little bit more and think about these things and think about how their leaders are actually screwing with them and playing with their lives without any results. So they don't deserve your respect, and I stopped respecting them a long time ago, and they will have to re-earn that respect from me, and I imagine from a lot of members of our community, because the political class, the governments, have failed, and they will continue to fail. The more that we are the more that we are asleep at the wheel. Okay, the people driving this nation will fail. So we have to get up, and we have to hold them accountable. Thanks for watching, everyone, and see you guys next time.